Oh, that's great. Did we get to shit?
It's either where they do like drones from, you know, like which seems stressful. It's not for me. Or yeah,
It'd be a good stakeout place, wouldn't it?
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, you pull up next to anything happen. Jeez, that'd be so boring being in a stakeout.
No.
Just sitting there. That's like van life, kind of, in a way.
These people in van life are like striving for something, though. They're trying to like see something new, aren't they?
They try to
Get
I
like
thought you meant in themselves.
find themselves while
In a van.
seeing every national park.
Oh, is that the plan?
I think
oh,
so.
yeah, that makes
Well, I
sense.
mean, do what you want with the van, but that's what I would have done. Some people are probably just doing it. It probably is more boring than it looks on Instagram. Like, people make it look really nice.
Oh,
don't
they
they?
make it look unbelievable.
Like,
Time of their lives. And you're
yeah.
like, where's your AC?
Like an enamel mug. It's always that enamel coffee mug.
They're reading a book. They look so cozy
Yeah.
in
So
the
many
van,
books.
don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know a girl that did it. I'll have to ask her.
Yeah.
I think she lied. Like, I think the whole, this is one of the best experiences of my life.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That means I hated it, but
Yeah.
I finished.
Why didn't
I'm
she
alive.
stay on tour? Why didn't she stay going if it's the best?
Yeah, I know.
Never stop.
Mm. Would you have sex with a girl in a van?
What van?
What kind of luxury vehicle?
Give me some more context than that. No,
You don't know.
In a van.
we were just talking about bougie vans.
Yeah, you don't know what kind of van
Yeah,
you're
these are
going
nice
back to.
vans, like converted Tempur-Pedic
Yeah.
mattress.
Then yes, an Airstream. Yeah,
Imagine being in a van, alright, and you're just like, is this Tempur-Pedic?
Yeah, got a policy on that. Is
I'd
some
love if you're that pedantic.
is
You're
someone
like, I have a
driving
policy.
at the time? If someone else is driving, just seems more exciting to be moving while you're doing it.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. You're like, who's that? That's Greg.
Yeah, no man, he's a great driver.
Greg, take the corners. I might hit a spot if you take the corner, Greg. I had a girl one time. She was like, "Yeah, I live in a van." I was going to buy her a book. I was like, "Where should I send?" I didn't realize she was homeless. Because honestly, if you live in a van, you're homeless. I don't care how bougie it is. Like, you could have a van and
no
a
fix
home.
the boat.
Oh yeah, she was like, "Yeah, I don't know." It's like, what you mean?
I just don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know where to send
Yeah,
it.
what do you do? That's like annoying, isn't it?
Probably a PO box.
PO box, but like you always move. You have to
Yeah.
like, move
What?
your PO box.
What is a PO box? It's like a
Yeah.
box in a it's like
Yeah.
a locker
Yeah.
setup. Is
Yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Oh,
Oh
can
yeah,
you-
lockers.
Oh, like
easier.
7-Eleven have the Amazon ones, don't they?
Do they?
Yeah, you can go and pick up your Amazon shit there.
Oh, like homeless people. Why would you do that if you weren't homeless?
If you, van, I suppose.
I like the way we're. I'm gonna be anti-van now.
Not
I
enough
was
people-
pro-van for a
Not enough
while.
people do boat life. Sure, you.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, I had a girl one time asked me back to a boat. She was homeless too. She owned a boat.
But at least that's called a houseboat sometimes. Like it suggests.
She never said the word house.
No, she didn't. I live on a canoe.
It was like one of those. I was
Dinghy.
like, wait, is it a raft? What the
Oh, yeah. We got
But imagine she lived like in Marina Del Rey. I met her in West Hollywood. That's a
Yeah.
long drive
Right, yeah.
to
To
see
get
a
on a boat.
dubious boat.
Yeah. Was it worth it though?
I didn't go back. I was
Okay.
like, I had a moment of clarity. The only thing that gives me clarity is if I know I'm going like too far.
Yeah.
I'm like, how it's not worth.
Because you're gonna have to. You got like 35 minutes to talk yourself out of it.
Yeah.
And it's enough
But if
for-
I'm hammered, I'm like, this is great. But it's
Yeah.
the drive back. I'm just like, what
That's
am I
bad,
doing
yeah.
with my life? Maybe I need a van. I need a van to really get
And
some.
it's just wherever you
And you're
are.
already home. When you stop the
Exactly.
car,
Oh yeah.
you're home.
Jesus.
You go-
Imagine the shame you'd have in a van. Imagine you had bad sex in a van and the
Well,
girl
there's
left.
just no just logistically, there's no bathroom. There's nowhere to like. Just,
I'm a fan of the words you use for vans. Logistically now.
well, yeah, this is part of van life. You get the lingo.
Oh, do you imagine you're? Oh no, I've got the shits.
Well,
You're just driving around.
what if she wants to slip into something more comfortable, like in films? Where's she gonna do that?
She's out on the side of Pico
Just yeah. This is like cars driving past.
and then comes back in. I feel like car sex too is pretty bad.
Yeah. It's just It's like it's never like gonna be better than it just is in your house in a bed.
Oh yeah, the whole
like
fucking
the idea is obviously like, oh, you should fucking do
Yeah.
it on this roof.
yeah. Oh, the worst. I think two of the worst I feel have sex in is one is a bath that doesn't have water in it. It's one of the sorest things of all time because there's no bounce.
Yeah, you're just on it. You're
She's
in
just
it.
like and your knees are like, I'm sorry. It's
What's-
just. And the second worst I think is on the beach if you're still like wearing jeans.
I just like imagine shoveling sand with your fucking balls.
I had sex on the beach one time, and both of the sex on the beach and bad sex were both in San Diego. And I, honest to God, I couldn't get the sand out of the jeans. I washed them like 5 times. I just had to throw them away.
Sex sand.
It was, and there's nowhere to grip.
So you can't get any purchase.
And I was just like, what the fuck? And I'm just sweating on top of her. And it's like, this is not. And then I goes, we should go back to where I was staying. But like we were staying in a hostel, just like 8 Irish guys. We were like in my bed, and she goes, what's your friend doing? I looked over, my buddy Colin was just like this.
Just like observing.
And he goes, I paid to be in this room.
You knew the policy when you walked in here.
So then we went to the bath, and it was fucking brutal.
Oh, that's why
the
you
same
ended up
story.
in the
Yeah,
bath. Oh,
yeah.
the same one.
Yeah, it was all in one.
Yeah.
And then I was like, we should just
But you
stop.
didn't want to wait, like put water in it. It's no
It
time
never,
as well.
honestly, it never even came into my mind. Plus, that's an
That'd take a
awkward
while.
40 minutes. How long does it take to fill a bath?
Turn your
Yeah,
immersion
it's
on
like
first.
2 hours probably.
Oh, yeah, and then
Wait a
she's
bit.
like, do you have any...
Then you like
do you have any...
a bath bomb or anything.
And then she was like...
It's a hostel bath as well.
Oh yeah,
I don't know about that.
yeah, that's bad.
It is literally hostile. Yeah, so van life, boat life. Trying to think where else. Jeez, I'm trying... Last night, fucked up nicely.
Mm.
I have a feel... Alright, yeah, let's see if you... I wouldn't get it... If a girl screamed that she liked me,
Yeah.
I'd have to be like, is she giving me a sign?
Say that again.
But you really though.
So I told my buddy, he texted me back. I met this girl, she was like, let's go back to mine. We went back after a show. She was like making me a dinner, like 2 a.m, like unreal dinner, like,
Like from scratch.
cooking shit,
Yeah.
like shit in the oven. Because I was like, it's getting hot in here. What's going on? I was also hammered and she was
Yeah.
sober, but I
Wow.
seemed sober. And my words were coming out like normally, but I was just saying extra words. Like, I was like, Jesus, fucking it. This is unreal. And then she goes, she was making me play like video games and stuff. And I was just like, what's going on? She was very hot, making me dinner.
Yeah.
I was like, are they carrots you're cutting?
Yeah. You peel it. Why have you got to peel
I
it?
swear to God, she was peeling. And I goes, what's going on? And I was like, geez, you're sound. And instead of being like, oh, you're a fun fucker, which would have like expressed what I wanted,
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, oh yeah, I like you, you're cool. And then she was like, you stop saying you like me. And I was like, oh, should I not be saying that? Like, what's happening? And I was like, why you don't like me? She was like, you're an idiot, are you? I was like, yeah.
I don't mean you can't like me.
I'm not disagreeing. And she's like, you're playing video games in my house. I'm making you dinner. It's 2 a.m. She's like, you can't see that I like you. And I was like, oh,
It was like,
so you do.
she was showing you. That was her love
Oh
language.
yeah, showing. Fuck, I'm so dumb. Although, if I was sober, I wouldn't have known either.
What
Yeah.
video game was it?
Mario.
No, I would think I would be more suspicious than it's simple as you like me. I'd be like, is this some like mum fantasy that you're doing?
That's what it sounded like first. That's what I thought first. I thought you were captured.
Playing your video game.
Yeah, she's like,
cooking
sit
your
down,
meal.
shut up.
No,
Yeah,
video games.
It was a bit
I'm
like
cooking you
that.
dinner.
She goes, look, I'm making dinner. She's like, this is how you impress me. Be good at Mario.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I
yeah.
was like,
She distracts you like a baby.
Yeah, do your own work.
she made me put on a bonnet, alright. But then, alright, she goes, oh, I was so dumb because I was like fucking hammered. There was 2 Marios on the screen. Just like, come on. And then she goes, yeah, like if you want to impress me, you got to get to the next level. And I'm like, fuck me. It was so tough because I was so hammered. And I kept falling off. And she was like, it's okay. And I'm like, I will gain your love. And then I
What
didn't.
was the meal though? Like
You didn't
all
gain it
together?
up.
Oh, the meal was like, I was like, wait, did you just make it? Was so good. I was
It was
like,
just-
did you order this? It was like rice.
Restaurant standard.
Yeah, it was like a vegan vegetable thing.
Oh,
it
she's
was
converting you at the same time.
It was. I swear to God, I know.
yeah.
It was like even the presentation.
Wow, it's great.
Yeah, and then she poured some rosé
2
in a
a.m.
small glass. Yeah, and it was so small. I was like, "What's this?" A shot of.
Shot of rosé.
So I chugged it. She was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I think that's when I lost.
Maybe she
her.
was giving you a taste like they do in a restaurant.
Yeah.
Would you like to taste the wine, sir? What? No. So that was a fantasy
I
as well.
just chugged it, and that's when I started losing her. We'd already hooked up like a few times.
Yeah. But this
So I was like, and she was like, "Do you want to come back?" So I was like, "Oh, this is happening again." And then I chugged the rosé, and then we were watching Family Guy, and I was like, "Family Guy 2?" Like I was going, "This is unreal." And then we
What a
actually,
night. Okay, yeah.
but then she put on a Family Guy that we had watched previously at her place.
Oh wow. Like
So-
you bonded over it, or she just didn't realize.
She didn't realize.
That's like one of her moves.
Yeah.
Like, this always gets them in the mood.
Oh no, I got duped.
Some people have got songs that they put on.
What's a song you'd put on?
I'd probably just go really obvious with "Let's Get It On,"
if a girl did that to me,
No,
I'd be like,
or
"Oh,
like-
you like this song?"
or like what do you call it? Like "The Bodies Hit the Floor." That'd be good. Then then like
You know
if she sticks
something?
around, if she stays, then it's like on it.
true. I think she's like, "You're disgusting. What's wrong with you?" And you're just like, "Oh, I just like music." I had a girl one time in Ireland. She brought me back to her place, and she weirdly had a bar in her house, which is kind of rich, I feel, in Ireland. She was like, "What do you want to drink?"
Oh yeah, like
Like this basically, and she was like this
Mark lives
shack.
here.
And she goes, "Oh, you want a drink?" And then she just, this is weird. She took out like one boob, right? One boob, left boob. And I was like, "I'd love a drink, yeah." And then she goes, "You want to see me dance?" And I was like, "Oh, of course." And then she puts on the Beatles' "Love Me Do,"
yeah.
and then starts stripping to
That's
it.
creepy.
But it's not a good stripping song.
No.
It's very like shoulder
Too
popping.
like the pace, way off.
I'd love if I had the self-awareness back there to be like,
yeah.
this is way off.
Yeah.
But then she kept doing it. It was so bad. I was like, she was like someone was punching each shoulder from behind the way she was going. It was like, this is awful. But then she just kept like taking
Just the same one.
Same one. The other one was there. It
Yeah.
wasn't like a mastectomy or anything.
It was available.
Yeah,
But-
it was on the dance floor. She was, and then
It's behind a paywall.
it got to the point though I was just like, show us your other one.
You got bored.
Yeah.
Is there a reason you're not showing me
I
the
was
other
like, is it better or is it worse? She's like, you don't need to see that. I was just like, then I just became fixated on it.
one? Yeah.
And then she wouldn't show me. And then we were getting on in her room. Oh, she was weird. She was just like, put more in me. And I was like, what?
More stuff or more of it. Like,
That's why reaching for the side lamp.
put more things in me. Or,
Yeah.
I mean,
She
it's,
basically meant more of my hand.
yeah, right.
And then I was just like, do you want a second hand?
Yeah.
She was
Fuck
like,
it
how
up.
about your foot? I was like, this is weird. And then I said to her, should I put on the condom? And she goes, on your foot? I was like, no. And then right, she goes, I goes, no, to have sex. She's like, I'm not a slut. And I'm like, my foot's half inside you.
Yeah.
We
What
just
difference does
met.
a dick make? At this point.
That's when I was confused again. Then her dad came home. I had to run away.
The
Next-
most unbelievable part about that story is it's in Ireland.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot that bit actually.
Oh yeah. She was a very like nice proper girl, and I think she'd just broken up with her long term boyfriend, and then I think a week or two later there was like an engagement that she had got back together.
Oh
with
wow. Oh wow. Just need to get it out of the
God.
system.
him. Yeah, I'm like if a girl breaks up with a dude, she'll like hit me up
Yeah.
and then be like, oh, it's not, the grass isn't greener.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Go
But like
back.
you, I mean, win-win really.
Oh yeah, it's great. In and out, no strings. What were we talking about before that? There was almost an end to a story.
Boats, boats and vans,
Van life.
cars,
Van life.
sand.
Oh, the
Bath
girl
club.
last night.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
dinner.
yeah.
Yeah, Family
so
Guy.
she made me
Nintendo.
dinner, right? We're sitting there eating it, and then she put on. She did her patented move, Family Guy.
Yeah, her favorite episode.
But
But
I
did
s-
you say like we've watched this before?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I said we've seen this already, and she was just like, "So just watch it again." And I was like, "Oh, I've lost her."
Yeah.
Between chugging the shot of
Yeah,
rose,
questioning Family Guy.
yeah, the question of family not making it up the level in Mario. It was the
fucked it.
weirdest. I was like, "Can I just fucking? How else do I impress you? Should I start singing?
Yeah. What else are you into?
Should I dance to Love, Love Me Do?" And then she sat in a couch. I hate. Do you know those couches that are very like long? Is it?
Oh, so your legs are a bit.
Oh, off
Even
the
though you're
ground.
tall.
Nightmare.
And then you can't be sexy if you're just like
Yeah, no.
And
She's a
Dangly.
kid.
Yeah.
And
She it's a fantasy of her.
It is. All the furniture's big.
Oversized furniture. Sit over there on that big
Wow.
fucking couch, Mark.
Well, that's
I
the
got
version
you.
that goes in the book. Definitely.
But then I was just like, what happened? I was on the couch. Oh, and she has one of those like leg things between it, so there was a gap, and I was like, I've made this gap too big because it was a big couch, and I was like, I said it. I was like, the gap is big, isn't it? She's like,
She took offense to that.
yeah. She goes, yeah, and I was like, I was trying to be nice, and I just sat at this, and then I goes, because there was a table for my rosé. I was
Yeah.
like, because my rosé is
Where your
here.
rosé was.
She was like, just drink it if you want. And I was like, I was going to try and kiss you, but I think the couch. And she goes, yeah, I'm just going to go to bed.
Yeah. So she took you in. She was like, "All right." I think it's your bedtime.
Did she have a nightlight for you?
I would always love that. She's
Yeah,
tucking
man.
me in and be like, you're a good boy.
Rejected.
So I think about that for a while now. The nice rejection. Also,
That's
the girl.
fairly raw.
Ben?
That's raw.
Oh, yeah.
Brand new.
But the screaming "I like you," that was you mean? That was what
Oh,
you were
yeah.
doing. So that was the problem. Well, no, not the
Yeah,
problem.
yeah.
But like,
She was more show. And
Yeah,
I
she-
was
yeah,
drunk
right,
yelling.
right, yeah, yeah.
I was drunk yelling.
well, yeah, you move to America and people tell you to talk about your feelings more, and this is what happens. Can't you just guess
Oh,
what
yeah.
I'm thinking?
I
We
need
don't
to-
talk about things in England.
Yeah, that's the thing, all right. Like my buddy in Ireland's always like, "Oh, treat the ones you like the ones you don't like."
Oh, one of them. What's that? Negging.
No, but not even like because you wouldn't. I have a joke about but like my buddy was like, "You're good at negging," and I'm like, "Am I a negger?" Which is dubious to say out loud, but he goes, "You just got away with that." We might have to beep that one out. I tried to pronounce the E's. And then I was getting comfortable being like, "That's my negger." I've only tried this joke a few times on stage, and people are like, "Wait, what?"
Did anybody take you back to their house after that one?
No. A couple of white chicks. But yeah, it's true, right? Like, yeah, me telling her, although I was drunk, if I was sober, I wouldn't say anything.
Yeah,
But
right, yeah.
Can you make a move sober? I can't.
No, I had a friend of mine who like, he was like newly single and then sober, and then got sober for a year. Like, he just did
Oh,
a
really?
year.
Same time?
And I was like, how are you gonna do this?
Yeah, that's
Like, what's gonna happen? And he did. He managed it.
really.
Yeah, I don't think I could. Like, I can't like no.
Yeah, all right. So I hear I love it's all about the shame. So you feel the shame.
You need like, yeah, definitely. I wouldn't be able to do like. There's
How
no
would
like.
you do
There's
it?
no daytime.
Oh
There's
yeah.
no, like, how does
Going
that
for a
happen?
kiss.
It's ingrained.
Yeah.
It's ingrained in every social activity.
But I feel like Americans do think we have like we're on the spectrum that we can't make a move sober. It's
Yeah.
insane, and you're just like, no, you don't get it.
No,
They're
you
like,
just don't,
how
yeah.
old are you?
Yeah. What are your interests? You just like, well, you don't do anything right. Like, I'm definitely not. First of all, I'm definitely not going to dance, if that's what you think. And that's part of it sometimes. Not
I
gonna
love
dance.
if you were telling a girl on a date these rules.
Yeah. First of all, until I finish this drink, there's no dancing.
Fair.
I feel like Irish dancing is right. You're like lean on the bar, and you realize one of your legs is kind of moving.
Oh yeah, it's a little bit of a tap.
Like that.
Yeah, that's good.
And
Yeah.
you're like, geez, I'm wrecked from all this dancing.
Maybe
So,
like hungover, I could like make some moves. Because
Oh,
that's
your
when I feel like
inhibitions
I'm
are
my
gone.
funniest.
Oh yeah, the
Like
roll
that's
on
a
deck.
great place to be.
Isn't it? It's one of the best.
Yeah.
Until you sober up 3 hours later and you're like,
And you're sad
oh,
about
what?
everything. Yeah. I wish you could just have that bit. Why don't they like spike
Yeah.
that? Like get a drink that just does that.
That is the most favorite time
Yeah.
I think ever. Better
great.
than being drunk because you
It's
think
better
you're
than being drunk.
sober.
Because it's like you're probably still a little bit drunk, but then you just like.
Yeah, the roll.
And when it's like when you're in it together, a few people, it's,
oh,
it's the best.
unreal.
Like I didn't even realize you were funny. And like you won't be in 2 hours, but let's just enjoy it.
That's the problem. Sometimes I'll be like boozing with a buddy, and I swear I'm sweating laughing. He's like, you should do that as a bit, and I'd be like, all right, let me write it down. I write it down. The next day I wake up, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you're like,
How?
what even mean?
Yeah, I'd be phoning him. I'm like, what context did we find this hilarious? Because it's not funny at all. He's like, yeah, I don't know. At the time, it was great.
Yeah, that be, yeah.
But like, yeah, that fucking hungover jackpot. The problem is if you text everyone on your phone, what are you up to? They're like, you're up early. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's what it
I'd
is.
be like, first of all, I don't dance.
Yeah, let's just lay down some ground rules. Yeah.
What else? What would be your top 3 ground rules?
Yeah,
Mine would be dancing
boundaries.
too.
The dancing's difficult. Yeah, it's not like. 'Cause I reckon I probably could, but I just don't wanna. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
willing to do it. Not willing to take that risk.
I think no fake
Oh.
fun is a good rule. Like, don't make me engage in something.
All right, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Sometimes I've been on my own and I'll think of a joke. This is a low point for me. I'll think of a joke and I'll be like, is that funny? And I'll say it again in my head and I've caught myself fake laughing twice. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm a pitiful person. I'm fake laughing on my own.
At your own
At my
joke.
own joke.
Yeah, like, is this going to be believable in any way?
Oh yeah, so no dancing. I agree with that.
I mean, that's like.
I hate when you're
Because that's just make or break, and it's probably break.
oh yeah,
me,
what are
like,
you
I'm
gonna
just
do?
like-
I
like
feel
if-
like you go into like a dad
And
move.
you'll very quickly be embarrassed. Like, the response will be just like really telling. Like, if you like, even if you think you can dance, or like, what are you even supposed to do? Like,
Yeah, I
what am I
know.
supposed to do as a dance move?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm good at dancing, that's weird as well. What? So you class?
he goes out, busts all the moves.
Yeah, like, oh, you're classically trained. I'm like, yeah, I kind of am, but or like breakdancing, that's even worse. Like, don't be a professional
the most
breakdancer.
embarrassing I feel.
Like, you're just taking well, I think that's another ground rule, like taking anything too seriously.
Oh yeah.
Like being really good at something and like, you know,
yeah, having
wanting
to
to
show
show people like I've got a magic trick. But I'm like, oh, and then you just think like, how much have you had to practice that? And that's when it gets sad. Not that magic's sad. I love magic, but
Not that magic's sad.
I just mean like, what are they? I'm probably overthinking what they're thinking, but she might be just like, oh, you spend a lot of time practicing this.
Imagine you were like, your date's going well, and she was like, do you know any magic tricks? You're like, yeah. Do you want to see it? And then she goes, yeah. And you take out a coin, and in your head you start having a 2-minute inner monologue.
Yeah, of her realizing.
You're like, if I do this, and she's like, are you okay?
Yeah, like, wait, I'm just trying to remember this trick. When really, yeah, she's probably thinking, fuck, you spend hours inside. Like, you're not gonna have any time for me. Especially, what if I brought my own pack of cards? I've got like, I've got-
that'd be hilarious.
I've
With
got
your
like
name
cards.
on them.
yeah, got rubber bands. I've got cups and balls somehow.
I like that overthinking. He spends a lot of time inside.
Well, like being that good at anything, it's like, yeah, right,
That's
yeah.
hilarious.
You know, like when, it's like, you know, like when like it was like a punk, like punks would like have like green hair and
Yeah.
shit. Then I just think about when they were dyeing their hair, like the moment that they're dyeing their
Oh,
hair.
yeah.
Like, how punk is that?
I always think that about mustaches.
Oh yeah, like any
At
like
some point, whoever has a mustache decided
to just leave
shape
that
the
on.
mustache and looked in the mirror and went, "That's cool."
Yeah.
and left.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like,
I always think
and
that.
left.
As well.
I'm like, have the mustache, but don't pretend you aren't. Or like,
Yeah,
or like the
always.
punk thing is always just like, well, yeah, like I don't give a fuck about
Oh,
anything
yeah.
except for like making sure my hair's always green.
I do like those moments of, oh Jesus, we're like queuing up to buy the hair dye.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like work
Yeah,
backwards
yeah.
from the actual look, and there's a lot more to this story.
That's yeah. Oh, there we go. Work backwards. If you're intimidated by a good-looking woman, She worked backwards to.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
What it took to get you there.
Deconstructor.
Yeah, we're gonna reverse engineer this.
Until you're comfortable.
Yeah.
What is the dancing one? I feel like too Americans have the lack of shame that they'll dance and like show us up. Like even if I danced and a girl was like, "You did it,"
Yeah, you're
you're
doing
having
it.
fun. I'd be like, "I hate this
Yeah.
with such passion."
Just don't acknowledge it.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Like,
another thing.
can we just dance in peace if
You're
we're gonna
like-
dance?
Imagine you're dancing, she comes up and she's like, "You did it, high five."
Oh,
And
yeah.
as your hand goes up, you're like, "I'm a new man."
Guess I'm a dancer now. Yeah.
He
This
spends
is
a
one
lot
of
of
my
time
moves.
inside. I think the key is so if a girl's ever like, "Are you good at anything?" Be like, "No."
No, I don't practice anything. All my time's gonna be dedicated to you.
I love that. I don't practice anything.
Yeah, there's not enough hours in the day.
Trades, master of none.
Like
I do,
a
because-
natural ability, maybe to dance, you can have a natural. Yeah, I suppose you can naturally. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I remember like teaching myself in Ireland because I was so fucking bored and I thought it was cool how to whistle,
Yeah.
like one of those piercing ones. And like you said, I was lying on my bed for like a whole day.
Yeah. No, but like, you gotta do it.
But looking back, I'm like, oh, I was a loser. Like just lying up.
But that's what I mean. There's definitely things I can do that required that. And I just choose to ignore it now. Or like before a certain time, like learn all your skills. Like by the time you're 14,
Oh yeah. Oh, 14. I like
I don't know,
that
I
cut
mean-
off.
maybe that's it. And then like,
Imagine
yeah, I've
you-
always been able to do this. Or
Jesus, if I stopped at 14, I'd be fucked.
I mean, definitely same here. But like,
Imagine you were really good at something, but you were too embarrassed.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, what if the only thing you can do is juggle? And I can juggle, and I'm saying it. Only with 3 things, but you know.
It's like you pitching her, be like, I can juggle this. I have my career. I have my family. Now I have you. She's like,
And I will not.
all right, what's another good boundary? I can't hold hands.
Really?
Yeah, I get turned on. Like fully turned on.
So you set that as a rule then.
I just tell them, I'm like, not to be creepy. Also,
So you like holding hands.
oh yeah.
You just
Too
can't hold
much,
hands.
almost. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like it's too nice.
You fear your
I had
owner.
to. Oh, I think because like in Ireland, there's such little fucking public affection.
It's another thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, I
PDA.
hate, yeah. Oh, the worst. Although I
Yeah.
will say, if I'm drunk and I do think I like a girl, I'll be like, "Come here, you
Okay, who sees us?
Yeah.
In this van. These windows aren't tinted. I don't give a fuck. Does it make a difference if you do the link or this? Does that help?
No.
Like maybe this is more. a bit
Oh,
more like-
actually, here's another thing. I sweat like a whore.
That's another. Yeah. You like all of a
I think
sudden
I'm
you.
blessed in that.
Really?
That sounds like a nightmare.
Ah, it's unreal.
Try
Keeps
to-
me
sweaty hands,
slim.
Like, trying to hold hands, sweaty hands.
Yeah.
Sweaty feet,
You can pull on a second.
sweaty back. I remember one time I was with a girl in Boston. She was Japanese, and like it was so small that it was like I was like, am I putting it into her belly button? What is happening? It was unbelievable. And she was also freezing, and she had like the heat pumped up, and I mean like, oh, it was so bad. And she had like the heat going, then she had a radiator going, and then she had these big blankets over me, and I was on top, and I couldn't find the hole, and I was just like, oh, this is brutal. And then I just started sweating, and I started sweating so much. She was just like, stop sweating. She was like, you're sweating. I'm like, I know.
Sweating. If only it was that simple.
She was like, no. And then like I was like, get off me, fucking blankets. So I like took them off, and then I burnt my ass against the rad that was right next to me, and that just triggered like a torrential. She was like, don't stop sweating, but don't stop. And at one point she took a pillow and like started pushing it into my face. being
Dab
like-
you up.
She goes, you sweaty,
wow.
you sweaty boy. You sweaty boy. It was fucking. She messaged me for about 6 years after.
Oh really?
Yeah, she's like, hey, I still,
Unforgettable.
It's like, hey, sweaty boy.
Yeah. Wonder what you're in a phone as.
right now until this very point, I thought that she was like, oh, she likes me,
Oh yeah.
but she's like, oh no, that's the sweating whore. I wonder if he's still alive.
What if he's learned how to stop sweating on demand?
No, I haven't.
It's like yeah.
It's torrential.
Boston's horrible in the summer. It's real sticky.
Oh yeah, the whole
It's that
thing was
kind of heat.
You'd be
Yeah.
raining on it.
yeah, it was bad. But like, that's it. Yeah, so public affection, can't do it. Dancing.
Wait, you can't do any public affection. Or is it just like I do hate like clingers and hangers on and like don't be linking
like
me,
you know when you're
fucking-
walking like side by side
Yeah.
and you're like, what are we doing? This is not comfortable.
Oh,
for
where
anyone.
to put you like?
That does depend. I'm not adverse to it, but like it can get awkward, like especially if you're
Yeah, I just don't know
I think
which.
if you're standing still at
what
something
level to be
and
at.
someone's like latched to you.
Oh yeah,
there's
you're waiting
something
for your
weird
Uber.
about that. You know what I mean? Like a little stool or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm talking shit.
Yeah, it's funny. Do you ever like you just say if you're on a couch, I don't know what to do with this hand.
If you, what like the hand that's not
Yeah, like,
involved. Just
the
like-
hand that's on the bench.
yeah.
Bystander.
But if you ever like got in your own head, you're like, should it be here? Should I have
Yeah,
it crunched
definitely.
against me? Should it be inside next to her? And she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I actually don't know.
Something's wrong.
What are you doing with yours? Like check what she's doing. What do you do with yours? Like, why is it so natural for you?
Yeah. Women never complain about the spare arm, don't they? Not?
I remember, ages ago. I think couch kissing is one of the worst. Couch kissing sober. Like, here's the thing. With my ex ages ago, I kissed her first time, I think, on the couch. And she was sitting there. And I was like, for some reason, I thought I'd be smooth. If instead of just turning my head, or instead of going like this, I tried to go like this.
What
Like around
Too
to
in.
pull her in. But it was
Yeah.
like a fucking foghorn on a signal. And I was like, what
Yeah,
are
it's
you-
like a
what
lot
are
of
you
build-up.
doing? And then she was just like, you just kissed me. I was like, I didn't realize that was a straightforward option. I thought I had to zigzag to the end point.
He's like some warning.
But like, I would definitely prefer a life of regret
Oh yeah.
than the risk of getting declined. Because that shame wouldn't go away.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I'd be
Depends who it is, but yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like my buddy would be like, oh, just say if you go for a hike with someone. They're like, what happened at the end? You kiss or anything? I'm like, what? Are you?
At the end of the hike.
Yeah.
Well, like at the top or like back down.
Oh, like when it's.
What is the end of the hike?
Oh, at the end of the hike is when you make the move. Imagine trying at the top.
Yeah.
And then you're like,
And then walk back. And it doesn't work out. Yeah.
An awkward descent.
I'll give you an head start. You go first. I don't know. Because then you're next to each other. I don't know. Going down's always weird as well. Slippery. And
it
like-
isn't it? Yeah.
Your body wants to move faster than you want to. You can't be cool, like, you know what I mean? It's just gravity's like tugging you down
It
there.
is hard to look cool walking down a hill, isn't it? It's like,
But yeah, so I couldn't do it sober during the day. What's the riskiest move you've made?
kiss at the top of the hike. I don't know actually. I think like I can't think like nothing comes to mind that's like gone horribly wrong.
Oh, really?
Like touch wood, but just plenty of time though. Still, like I'll work on it.
Do you go on dates
I
here in
just don't
America?
think I'm risking it enough.
Oh, you don't think so?
Um,
Wait, do you think you should more?
Yeah, like just for the story, I suppose.
Mm.
Like it'd be better to like get myself into
Yeah,
some
that's the thing.
situations
Right?
that
It's
are,
good for
like-
stories.
Yeah,
I remember like when I first came here, I used to write like a weekly newspaper thing, and in my head I'm like, my brain would be like, don't do that, don't go there.
yeah. But you
But
need
then
someone
I
to
was
write.
like, oh yeah, so I was like, fuck it, I'll just go and do it, and it always worked out. It didn't work out, but like I
But for
got
the
something.
thing, yeah, that's true.
And I actually heard Bill Burr one time saying like he builds his special by like he'll just think up a new shit, but then he'll go do stuff he's never done before
All right.
because he's like, I'm going to make a fool out of myself.
Yeah.
And then something's
And it'll
going to
come-
come
it'll
from
give you
that.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
a
was
good
like,
idea.
oh yeah, so like consciously being like, all right, let's make, because it's the comfort zone is unreal. I got rid of my couch because of that. So like I
That's
was,
funny, you have no couch. That's
yeah,
true.
yeah.
What do you
got
mean?
rid of it.
You're psychotic.
Wait, talk me through that again.
Just realised that.
Got rid of your couch so that you don't get too comfortable.
And
In
my
your house.
TV, yeah,
And your
because
TV. So like you can always go out and do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That
Which
makes
is
sense.
good.
So you just only sleep at your house. That's it.
I have like a big dining table and stuff,
Yeah.
and like I have other
Oh, that's
chairs.
different. Yeah, you sit and write probably.
Yeah,
Benches, like monk benches.
yeah. It's like I like it a hardship.
yeah. You're like nothing comfortable. No
Yeah.
matter what. What about like when people come back to yours? then?
Oh, then it's awkward.
yeah,
they're like,
no
where's your-
Family Guy. No fucking weird couch.
Oh yeah, that's
gap.
why it's one of the most awkward things. They'll come back and it's just like, oh, there's only one.
Like you
reason.
haven't moved in fully yet.
Yeah, no, it's all furnished,
But
but
it
like,
looks normal, but it's odd when you only until you mention it.
yeah, because you
Yeah.
don't realize. You're
Yeah,
like,
that's good
oh,
then. You
and
pulled
there's
it
a
off.
spare room. They're like, is it in the spare room?
Yeah, where's you? Yeah.
I'm just like, no, there's just more. I have about 15 chairs.
Yeah,
But
plenty
like,
of options.
it's hard to make a move on a bench.
Just sliding and wobbling.
Also, like convenient, you've only got a bed though. You're just like,
But
I've
even
got
that's-
chairs or a bed. So.
Yeah, but then that's awkward too.
Yeah.
Because they come over and like,
So I mean, they think it's one big
That's
setup.
clever.
Yeah.
That's clever. I didn't realize that. The
Yeah.
only comfort is the bed.
yeah, I know. But
Everything
then-
else is hard wood.
Yeah. But honestly, I'm at the point where like, I get such little sleep
Yeah.
sometimes that if I was to go lie in a bed and watch Family Guy with someone, I would pass out.
Yeah.
I'm not good at.
I'd just be like, I'd love a sleep now.
Yeah. Just like call her up if you needed a good night's sleep.
I
Can we just
can't
watch
sleep
Family
next
Guy
to
and
someone.
sleep?
I
Yeah,
can't.
yeah, that's a difficult thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when it's new.
Yeah.
There's like a few weeks of getting into that.
I feel like with me, it's especially if I'm sober. If I'm drunk, I'll just pass out.
Yeah.
But if I'm sober, my brain's like, she's not the one.
Yeah. We're doing this as a marital bed. All of a sudden.
That's genuinely your fear.
Yeah.
I
That's
sleep,
the funny one.
I sleep like a rock, lad.
Next
Yeah.
to
No
someone.
matter what. Yeah.
If I need to defend myself and wake up, you know what I mean? Like,
That's
if
another
something goes
thing
horribly
though.
wrong where I wake up and she's burning the house down, I'm okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
survive. But I don't think. I hate to get stabbed in my sleep. That's a fear.
Get stabbed in your sleep.
Imagine.
Oh, yeah. Now it's mine. Never thought about it in my life, and all of a sudden, it's got to the top of the list.
Nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, that's a bad one, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that is a bad one.
You got to choose wisely then.
That's like, I remember seeing a guy in Ireland, right? And we were at a pub after a match, and he's saying something. He's like, "Yeah, please God," and instead of touching wood, he went like this: 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1
Down to one.
down, and then he went back up to 3,
Oh,
and then
nightmare.
back down to 1. Right? And I was like, "That's the. What are you doing? This like, what's wrong with you?" He's like, it's just a superstition." In my head, I'm like, "That's so dumb.
Yeah.
You gotta stop doing that." I had big exams about a month later. And I'm at home and I'm just like, touch wood, and it popped into my head.
Yeah, you're like, shit.
And I
should
goes-
stop touching one.
oh
Now I'm doing
no!
that.
Yeah,
That's why I made a conscious decision one day not to be superstitious.
really?
Because I didn't wanna have to rely on it.
Thing, yeah.
There were
was
like a
that?
while when there were like a time where like when our band would play, I'd go on stage with a jacket on, take it off and sit down and play. And
Oh,
I
you-
thought that I needed to do that.
Oh yeah.
So one day I was just like, wait, I'm not going to do it because I don't want
Really?
to rely on this forever. What if I forget my jacket one day or I
Yeah.
forget to take it off? So I was like, then that is the thing that fucks you up.
how
So I just like got rid of superstitions.
did you that time you performed like without going on? Did you feel it?
Missed it.
What?
Well, no, I had to like get through it.
Oh
I
yeah.
was
But
like,
were
alright,
you
like-
ropey? Was it like?
No, it was all right, and that's when I knew that it's all bullshit. Like, how could that possibly make a difference? Like, snap out of it.
Is there like besides individual? Is there any band superstitions?
No, it's like traditions. Have a shot of tequila before every gig.
All right.
Just
Would
like
you booze on stage?
Yeah.
You would. Would you be hammered?
Yeah, I can't do very well if I'm drunk. I know like where I can go, but one particular time I like, yeah, like there's a I can count on my hand how many times I've gone too far.
Really?
Yeah, and then it's scary.
Really?
Yeah,
How come?
because then you just like I drop drumsticks and I'm just like fuck.
Oh no way!
He's
Really?
in charge of the rhythm, Mark.
Yeah, it's like some
I
like
really don't
time
want to like
constraints.
being in a band. I've never done.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, it'd be more if I was just like, I don't know, if I didn't have to do something that physical, then maybe I'd be fine.
All right.
It's like trying to go to the gym
Keeping
after you
time.
leave.
Wait. So are you like you're steering the boat almost with the rhythm?
Yeah, I mean, if I stop, everyone notices.
Or if he's off a little bit.
Or if I fuck it up, yeah. it's
Really?
like,
Not
oh.
in time, people will notice.
Yeah, that's a bit bad. Yeah, but we did. Yeah, once in Japan, we all were too drunk to play. And it's just a night because then it just feels like it's
Team
3
spirit.
days long as well.
Really?
Like the gig feels like 3
How
days.
long
You're just
was the
like,
gig?
fuck, like 45 minutes probably. And you're just like, oh shit,
What did you
sweating more than usual. It's like
sweating more than you?
Yeah.
Would you? You must be sweating like a whore.
I
yeah?
sweat anyway, yeah, and then you smell the booze coming out. Of you. You're like,
What
oh,
time was the
God.
gig at?
That was like early on. That was like about 5.
And
Like
you were
a
fucking
festival,
goosed.
like yeah.
Yeah, that's why if I have a show at night, someone's like, come day drinking.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't. I'll be fucked.
Well, that's what happens like whenever friends come to a gig. Like if they come to one, like you play in LA or you play in like a bigger city, and friends come and they just want to drink all day.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, have a drink with us. And I'm like, yeah, okay, but I know when I'm getting there to like
Oh yeah.
stop.
I'll
Maybe
try
a
and
little
power
sleep.
through. I'm dumb. I'll be like, nah,
Yeah.
I can
Once
do
you're
this.
in, you're in. He knows. Once
I-
you're in,
yeah.
2 feet or no feet.
I had a buddy, Brent Moran. We were boozing. I think it was July 4th one time. He was fucking hammered, so hammered, and he had a show that night, and he was just like, I gotta get to the show. He's like, let's run there.
Oh, you sober up, man. Ready?
Yeah, so we were up Laurel, and it was at Improv, so it wasn't too far, and we couldn't get a car because it was July 4th or something. So we're like running down. He's
Down
like,
the hill.
come on, as if they were on a fucking adventure. And he like, the footpath going down that hill is like, there's fucking roots and shit everywhere. So it's just all cracked up. He fucking fell face first so hard into a fucking like the fucking path. Bounced up. He's like, I didn't break anything, and just kept going. And we get to the Improv, right? And he's like doing shots at the back. He's fucking bananas. We're like, he's not going to be able to go up. He couldn't speak. He was just like, hey. We're like, are you sure? He's like, I've never missed a gig in my life. Goes on and murders for 20 minutes.
Where is he?
Could fucking like, he could speak so well. And we came off, we were like, how the fuck did you do that? He's just like, muscle memory.
yeah. Fuck. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know
The
what.
drunkest I'd see it, I was like, all right, can't booze.
What happens when you're too drunk to do that though? Because I have no idea what that would be like.
Oh,
Like
it's
talking.
it's a bit.
Like,
You just have to call it out.
Yeah.
If you acknowledge
Oh, yeah,
anything
yeah, right.
on stage,
but
then-
you say like weirder shit.
oh
than
yeah,
would
you
usually.
just hope something bad doesn't come out.
Yeah,
You
that's
hope
what I
you're
mean.
like, yeah. Imagine you're up there and you're just like,
Here's what I really think about.
that's the hope.
Yeah.
So you're not that fucked. But like I remember before. Plus, if you're hammered a lot, you'll think, oh, I fucking killed.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you listen back and you're just like, oh, that's a big gap but no laughs.
Yeah. I remember him laughing at the time.
Yeah, because you'll just remember the end.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And you're like, fuck it, that was good. And your buddy's like,
Standing ovation. Just like,
not realizing people are walking out.
yeah.
You're like, ah, I fucked up. Yeah, it's tough, right? Especially like, I feel like if I was in Ireland, it'd be easier. But here I have to fucking enunciate
Yeah, no.
like
that's-
tough
yeah.
words.
Mhm.
It's annoying. Like sometimes I see faces glaze over because I said something like fucking, oh, so you're a man over there.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's not my
That
man.
don't mean, yeah.
Yeah, they get-
That don't mean the same thing.
Yeah, but like if I'm talking to a guy and I'm like, who's your man there? And the guy's like closet homophobic,
Oh, it really gets offended.
he
about
goes,
it.
that's not my man.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
What are
what?
you trying to insinuate?
You said I live in a van?
Is that your van over there?
I had an awful situation in New York one time where I was at a restaurant and your man goes, it was leaving. Your man goes, you want to pay by cash or card? And I said, card please. He said, what? I went, card. And he went, card? Like, card. And
Yeah.
it was like 4 or 5 times too many. But like he asked me cash or card. I was obviously wasn't saying cash.
Yeah.
I wasn't saying cash.
Yeah, there's only two
I
options.
kept saying cash.
Let's narrow it down.
Cash?
Yeah, you're suggesting a new method of paying all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Like you were on Bitcoin earlier. It's just like, no, it's a new fucking cryptocurrency.
I would love to. I do like the words you use. I'd love to be like, the guy's like, what? And you're like, let's narrow it down.
Yeah, I mean, I'll help you with this. Like, I can speak better English if you need me to, but I feel like I'm already doing a good job. It's when, like, for a while, like when I first moved there, it took a while to like get over it and like start compromising that accent.
Yeah, it's tough.
Because
Isn't
like
it?
I'd just say water 10 times.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
water. Like what? Like water. I'm like fucking H2O. Like clear shit that you drink.
You'll go do anything but put on that.
Yeah. Like I'm not coming
Yeah.
to you. Like
It's tough, isn't it? I find myself doing
Yeah.
it.
I had like coffee sometimes.
Yeah.
If I'm at a coffee shop and I ask for a coffee and they're like Kathy.
yeah. No, you tell us your name afterwards.
Yeah. And it gets to the point where you're like, I can't. I have to have some pride.
I know. Even when I'm on my own, like I won't. Like I've thought like how much easier it would be. Like I'm at DMV to just do an American accent.
Oh yeah, no.
But like I'm like, no, I'm
The
not gonna do it.
shame
Like
would
you
come-
never know who's around.
Yeah, I know. Oh, that's the.
What if someone does hear me though?
I do have such paranoia that like I don't know how Americans speak so loudly and freely in public.
It's insane. Yeah.
I'm at home when I'm whispering on the phone. Like, I don't know who's here.
Yeah.
But if I'm telling a story, I'll be like, "Oh yeah, wait, come over here." And
Yeah,
he's
like,
like,
this is just for you.
yeah. And then my buddy would be like, "What?" And I'd be like, "Did you see that girl?" He's like, "Why the fuck did you not tell me that?" I'm like, "You never know, her friend could be sitting next to us."
Yeah.
But yeah, that fucking losing yourself almost.
Yeah.
As you say, like the compromise.
You
It's
catch
tough.
yourself,
It's
yeah.
tough on stage.
I bet. Yeah, because you just like
Do you say
to get your
garage?
thing across, you have to do
Yeah,
it.
shit. Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah, garage.
And do you know what's funny too, right? I'll get fucking guys online. Just say if I say rubbish. Oh yeah, okay. If I say rubbish, all right. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I put it in the
It's
rubbish.
Oh yeah.
It's 9 times more of explaining what it is as
Yeah.
opposed to just saying the trash.
Trash, yeah.
But as saying the trash feels like, oh, I've sold out.
But trash
Yeah,
is a nice,
yeah,
I,
it's
to be honest with you, trash is a fun word.
It is, but it's not.
But
It's
I
like,
know what
oh,
you're saying.
you've
You're
changed.
still selling out, yeah.
Because I'll have
Yeah.
guys hit me up
Parking
and they'll be
lot.
like, oh yeah, I'll be like the car park.
Yeah.
They're like,
yeah,
what
yeah.
the fuck is that?
Or
And I can't say parking lot.
even like drive instead of driveway. You know, like
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's in like on the
Yeah.
drive. Let me know when you're on a drive.
Yeah.
On a drive. I'm
Oh,
like, no, like the like a driveway, whatever. I don't want to say way. Why do I say way after it?
I remember one time a girl was like, she was like, what are you going to do? And I was like, oh yeah, I'll come over. Oh no, I'll call. I said I'd call over.
Yeah.
She's like, all right, perfect. So I went over. She's like, why are you here? I was
Oh, he was like call. She
yeah,
thought
she
call
saw
instead.
call,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was just like, fuck.
Yeah, that's what it used to be when we were kids. Like, I'll call for you. That was like, come round.
yeah.
I'll call for
Call
you in
over.
like at 5.
Call over.
Yeah.
I hate having to explain
Call in.
like the backstory.
I still because I still say I'll phone you as well.
Mm.
I'll phone you. I'll ring you. In
I-
fact.
I feel too like I've the impulse to fucking explain why. They'll be like, oh, he's wrong. And I want to be like, I'm actually right. Here's why. When I was a young
Yeah.
boy, my parents taught me that call over means to go over to your
And-
house.
And that's older than this country. as well.
Remember, you used to ask your friends' parents if your friends were coming out to play.
yeah.
Johnny coming out to play.
You coming out? Yeah, you coming out?
You coming out? You coming out? You coming out?
This is it.
You know what I've realized? A girl asked me one time. She's like, "Do you like to party and play?" All right, in West Hollywood.
Is that like some drug talk though?
I thought it was just like fucking do some
Like actually just
bullshit
party and
games,
play.
yeah, and like booze and shit.
Yeah, did I go to Dave and Buster's?
I thought, it's like do meth.
Oh yeah,
And,
there's like different words
and
for
have
different
sex.
drugs.
Yeah.
Easy,
Oh, right,
easy,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
that's so I don't get
Oh
caught.
yeah,
Me.
party and play is like I
Do you
think it's
party?
meth and like literally.
Wow, and
Meth.
then meth as well is aggressive.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Oh, it's so aggressive.
Yeah, straight. That's
Isn't
deep.
it weird? It's weird how
Fucking hell.
casual it is
Yeah.
in West Hollywood.
Gotta keep an ear out for that one.
I remember like I'll ask a girl who like a good looking model girl. I'll be like, oh, jokingly, who here has done meth? And she's like, well, by accident a few times.
I have a question. Could we don't? Do you smoke meth? Do you snort meth?
I think you smoke it.
Smoke it. Okay.
Yeah.
Does it come in a powder form like you burn like crack, or is it like?
I don't, you put it in a pipe, as far as
Okay.
I know, and you can sniff it.
I was like, maybe you know.
Good to know.
I presume you could sniff anything, really.
Okay.
If you try hard enough.
Yeah.
I was wondering how you can get it mixed up if you're smoking it or sniffing it. I get you.
Oh yeah, I think you can. You can smoke it too, Wolf, can you? Yeah. It's like I've done it. You can put it up your ass.
the authority on.
I remember one girl at a time, like a girl, she goes, "Oh yeah, I'd love you to do some coke out of my ass."
Out of it.
Yeah, it's just like I just met you.
Out of it seems weird. I know like people like to go in, don't they? Once they've like fucked up the once they've fucked up the septum, then you go like.
I like the way you're like, wait, out of it?
I know. I was like, do you want to do coke out of my ass?
Do they put it in the ass?
Yeah.
What? Really?
Yeah, you blow it up there. Yeah.
Wait, what?
That's like
Oh,
once
he's not in again.
because some people like really fuck the nose up and like destroy it.
Oh,
You
really?
like, get a straw, like blow it
And
up.
that's
yeah.
for the person with the ass gets high.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're like
Right,
on the
right,
receiving
right.
end.
So she was asking you to
Really?
go blows
Fucking
smoke
hell.
up her
Maybe it was
ass.
a language barrier again.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know what you call it where you're from, but
That's it. She was like, "Oh yeah." She thought I was gonna blow it, and I just started sucking it. She's like, "You're
that's mine.
disgusting." Jeez. Yeah, the obvious one too is crack.
Obvious.
The obvious one.
Well, like a girl going, "Do you like crack?" And I'm like,
Oh,
"Fuck it.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I love crack."
oh yeah, right, yeah.
Where's the
Yeah.
crack? Do you know
Yeah.
the weirdest one I've had? I remember one time, this girl brought me back to like an unreal apartment in West Hollywood. It was like a doctor. They were all doctors, and then this hot chick. There was a few hot chicks, and they were like suspicious of me. But one guy came up. I was drinking champagne too out of the bottle like a cunt. Like it's not my place, but she was like, "There's no glasses," and I was like, "All right, cool." And the guy came up to me and is like, "Do you like Tina?" All right, and in my dumb drunk logic head, my dad used to listen to Tina Turner and the Bee Gees growing up.
Yeah.
So he goes, "Do you
Oh,
like-"
he's like music
So you
taste
went with it?
conversation.
Yes.
thought,
So
yeah.
he goes, "Do you like Tina?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, fucking yeah,
Yeah,
big
only
fan."
one Tina I know.
Lovely set of pipes on her.
So then some dude comes over and drops off the drug dealer, and he's like, "All right, man, we're going to do some Tina." And I was like, "Wait, what?" And apparently it's Christina crystal meth.
Fuck, what are all these meth people you're hanging out with?
I've
I've never accidentally come across somebody who
all
loves
the
meth.
time.
I mean, you know, accidentally.
They're always planned.
I've always known what I'm getting myself into.
It explains a lot about your
Tina's
complexion,
good though.
Oh yeah, but then all right, they kicked me out. They're like, "You gonna?" It was almost like, "Are you in or out?"
Oh right, yeah.
And I
Fucking
was like,
square.
"Yeah."
It's like-
Yeah, I was a square, and they like kicked me out, and I'm just outside like holding champagne. The way people kick me out of their party sometimes for not doing meth, it's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
If it's happened more than one time, then
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
why.
way too frequent this is happening.
The way they're like on a high horse looking down.
Yeah,
at me,
yeah, fucking hell.
being like, "You're a chump. You're such an Irish chump," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Leave me in. I'll do it."
I'm fine. I just want to be your friend. This is how it starts. I don't think like peer pressure happened like after that age of
Oh, yeah,
being a
take-
teenager. Like
Well, I'd say I wonder what could a girl convince you to do?
meth. Definitely meth.
Pegging.
Yeah, I might draw the line at that. Well,
I like the
peg
well.
the meth. See what
Peg
happens.
the meth.
Sell t-shirts, peg them out.
Peg the meth and on the back. See what
Peg the meth.
happens.
That's the platform I'm running on when I get into politics.
How'd you do it? Jeez, imagine the hangover. Do you get bad hangovers?
It's inconsistent. Like I don't know what
Triggers it.
Yeah, like some days I can just mix loads of drinks, drink whatever, drink all night, and I'll get away with it. Sometimes I'll just have beer and get an hangover. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, yeah.
Is it mental or physical?
It's physical. It's like fucking
Do you get
headache.
bad mental.
I don't. I've
ones?
never throw up, but like you mean like just the fear and like
Yeah, yeah.
like,
The shame.
not
the
that
guilt.
bad. Like yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, like yeah, you get a bit like introspective. It depends what happened though during it.
Wait, that eye look alone.
Yeah, no, I'm just like I think I had a flashback to a flashback. But I mean, I was like pretty hungover today and yesterday, but it was like again, it was like inconsistent. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
like, what have I done? I didn't do anything different to what I did like last week.
Yeah. True.
don't think-
It's weird, alright though. Like if you are hungover, but then you meet a buddy who is hungover too,
Yeah,
the pain is eased.
yeah, you're like sharing it all.
Yeah.
Like sharing the thing.
That's why I can see now where they're like, do you know the way if depressed people are like, oh, talk about it, or suicidal people.
Just have groups.
Yeah.
That's why you go in a band. Like you're all hungover together all the time.
Oh, is that one of the perks?
Yeah.
What are the top three
Bonds,
perks
they're
of a
bonding.
band?
Yeah, you're just like we're in the same.
One, shared hangover.
boat. Yeah.
Two, shared jackets. It's almost, this is going to be a bad analogy. Do you know the way Jerry Seinfeld has a bit like if you're gay, you double your wardrobe?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Would it happen in a band? You'd be like, oh.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah.
Would you ever, imagine, what's the silliest thing you've thought about?
With a girl or in a band.
Either. Well, in a band, I was like, that's my jacket. And
Oh
just say
yeah, right. Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't like some.
That'd be yeah. I think that'd be at the end of us.
Yeah.
If we got to that, it's like, oh shit, we've lost it. We finally lost it. Probably fight over that. Like, no, that's not fucking my jacket. That's yours. It's like other way around.
Oh,
I'm not wearing that.
that would be a last leg, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be it.
That'd be like a bad. Jeez, I wonder which would be tougher to fucking be in a breakup with a chick or break up with a band?
Yeah, I don't know. Trying to end it amicably.
Yeah. Would you
It's just-
in a relationship? I feel like Irish guys, at least who I know, are like cowards.
Oh yeah, like stay in it too long. You mean?
Wait, what?
You know he's drunk
Just-
when he's either very quiet or he starts shouting.
Yeah,
Yeah, where would yeah.
3 of these and he's like, what
Like
the
this-
fuck?
This is an alternate route to dealing with a hangover. You just top yourself a
Yeah.
little bit,
Mm.
and you're golden. You're
It's
not
when like
golden
hair of the
at
dog just becomes like the next night. It's
Yeah.
all. I think 3 Dezos is the spot.
not bad. I might have another actually.
3 of them.
Is there a third?
There's many.
Great. I'll do this. I'm staking on the same flavour. This coconut water one's like.
But yeah, like, yeah, the people, I've had friends who've been like, oh, I think I'm going to break up with her. Nice one. And then they're,
But then still done for a few.
oh,
months again.
they get engaged and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just like, to dodge the awkwardness.
Mhm.
I remember I was like in a bad breakup before, and my buddy was like, oh, it's better to be dumped than to jump.
Oh yeah, right, yeah. So like what? Just
the moral high ground, is that it?
No, more like as in like, you won't be like, oh, what if you're like out?
your guilt's gone.
Yeah.
But then will you just try and be a nightmare just so she dumps you though? Is that like a move you'd do?
Oh, I try and be boring,
Oh yeah, right, yeah.
which is tough for me, obviously.
Disengage.
You're just like, look, I ain't got a TV, I ain't got a couch. You should probably just
You know what? I'll start highlighting no TV, no
yeah.
couch.
You probably want a guy who's got a couch.
I'll also highlight stuff like if I tell a girl a few times I love eating porridge,
Yeah.
I like to change the mentality. Be like, is he the man for me?
Yeah, porridge and hard-boiled eggs.
Yeah.
That's his diet daily.
But I will. I'll start. I'll go with like monosyllabic replies and stuff,
Oh yeah.
just to be like, "What's wrong with you today?" Nothing.
That's 2 syllables.
Yeah.
No.
No.
The amount of neighbours I've had in LA who I'd like meet in an elevator or outside a place, be like, "How's it going?" and they've just gone, "No."
Yeah, that's a good one. Isn't it? No,
No, thank you.
not today.
Do you ever drive into like a southern state in America and then meet someone and they say, "Hey, how are you doing?" and you're like, "What the fuck?"
Or like
Do you ever notice that? Do you ever notice
That's
that?
all over America.
They're
dog.
friendly. No, it's the opposite. Like I remember like across the border into like Virginia or something, stopped at a gas station.
Oh, they weren't working there, just
Some-
a random.
Yeah. Just, hey, how you doing today?
Oh, you mean
yeah.
as a person? Like
yeah. And
like-
I was like, what the
Oh,
fuck
yeah.
is
Wow.
going on here?
That's kind of like.
Especially then I think you just have to like give them a lot of information.
Yeah,
It's like, well, actually, since last week I've been having this fucking lower back pain. And
But you always end. You could tell them all your woes, and then at
Yeah.
the end you're like, "But not too bad."
yeah. But like, I can't complain.
Can't really
I'm
complain.
loose. I haven't felt my right testicle.
And also, though, I definitely say, no matter what, I definitely say like, yeah, great.
Yeah.
Like no matter what, it could be anything. Like,
I
yeah,
also
great, thanks.
Tipping away.
Yeah.
Away. Not too bad.
I'm crying every night, but you know.
Yeah. Do you really want to know? Because we can do this.
Considering suicide, still tipping away though. Tipping away.
Phil, that's a big difference between men and women. Like, I've never had a guy talk about his bad day at work. Whereas, like, I've had women just pounce it
it's
on
true.
you.
Yeah,
You're just
right,
like, what? I remember one time, I was just sitting there and the girl was working at a clothes shop and she was just telling me, like, I'd heard the story so many times about folding clothes.
What is the story though? Is it worth telling?
It's not, but it was about how this girl didn't fold the clothes, but it was her job to fold.
Fucking hell.
He's a good fake listener.
I was like, practicing.
Oh, this is
great.
great. Because you know why? I was like, okay, he's interested.
No, but like, what if it had been good though? I don't want to miss out.
She was basically how she was folding the clothes, but if she was meant to fold the clothes in that section, she didn't do it, so she had to do it. And you know, she had her own job too, and now she's doing 2 jobs. And like, it's like a story with no end. And then it ends, and
And
you're
that
just
was a
like,
terrible day at work for me.
and I was just like, I remember at one point being like, what would I suck a dick to get out of this story? She's like, what are you thinking about? I was like, just my options.
Yeah, you're like this fucking folding girl. Then you have to obviously like get involved.
But the problem, I could see you getting involved too much.
Yeah, no, I could do that. Fucking hell. It's not that hard. Watch, I'll do it. It's really easy.
That's,
I'm annoyed for you.
The you were trying to impress a chick and she's like, he's so nice.
Yeah, great listener.
You went in and you fucked Karen out of it.
Yeah.
That bitch is
I would threaten her. Like, what's so fucking hard about folding a t-shirt?
Joking her off. Some
Yeah, just to show my support for the...
It'd be hilarious. Then I hate, like, do you ever get fixated on one thing with someone? If you talk about something else, it feels like way out of context. You're just like, oh shit, like, oh yeah, Ireland.
Like, what? Yeah. You were,
Do you know what's weird too? You said like you gained a new fetish a minute ago. Oh no, not a new fetish. About getting stabbed.
Stabbed in your
oh, yeah,
face.
it's not a fetish. I don't think. Is it? Is that what yours was?
No, it's a fetish for Mark. No,
Maybe
no.
that's the thing, though.
No, but one time, right, a girl sent me a naked picture, but it was like she was using the Joker filter.
Creepy.
Yeah, but her body was so hot.
face was Joker and body was great. It was
Yeah,
like, yeah.
savage.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I'm fantasizing about clowns. I was like, all right, sometimes I'll just be into clowns.
Was that just like a protective measure on her part, you think?
No, we were kind of joking around, and she was just like sending Instagram just of her face. And I was like, oh, you look good as a clown. She's like, I should send you a clown nude.
Which is also a great sentence to say, isn't it? Like, I've never said it.
Folder, Mark.
You want one of my clown nudes?
And then I was like, oh yeah, please. And then it became a thing.
Yeah.
And then she sent one, and I was like, fuck, I want to fuck a clown.
It could have been like a challenge, couldn't it? You know, like they
Not
like
many-
challenges. Clown nude challenge.
There's not many female clowns for you to have a clown fantasy.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah,
I
yeah, right,
realized-
isn't it?
She goes, it's probably clown porn. I was like, I think it's
Oh.
more specific, just to this one clown with the hot body. But imagine, that'd be
Clown
so. I could imagine if you became that kind of guy, where like she's like, let's have sex. I couldn't even say it there. I was trying to be like, what do girls say? I was like, let's get it naked. Because you said, let's get it on.
Let's engage.
Let's engage in intercourse. Go and do
But
2
if-
hours of makeup first.
Because can you do the thing?
Yeah, can you do the sad one today? Really, I really
That
need
would
that
cheer me up. If I knew, imagine, yeah, she was like, you really like the sad one.
one. Yeah, like, you never do the sad one.
Can you do big tears? It would be brutal to be like, that's the thing. I like if a girl ever said to me, what are you into? I'm like, this, I don't know.
Yeah.
Is there a music taste that would turn you off?
Mm,
Or would you just
country
or would you forgive it?
music, I mean.
For a girl, what does that mean?
Well, like if she was like, do you want to come to this country festival and shit, I'd be like,
Oh right, yeah.
Got
I
it.
think it's a stagecoach.
yeah, like that stuff. I that'd be me. That's like dancing for me. That's a barrier.
Yeah.
I'd be like, you
Good
go
one.
have fun.
Yeah.
I'll just be sitting there thinking about jokes the entire time in my head.
Well, that's one of the experiences. that you might
Oh,
have to
there
do.
we go. See,
It's like you're doing a reality show without filming it.
yeah.
So that's
Oh,
like what
yeah.
it should be, and then you just like write about it.
See, my instinct was to say no,
Yeah.
and
Would
the
be
bird
me
on my
too.
shoulder was like, do it.
Yeah.
Fuck a clown.
Fuck a clown at stagecoach.
Can you put on the boots? It's one time a girl started rapping before.
She started rapping?
Yeah.
In like when, like what
Like,
stage?
She goes,
Like at what stage was the
I'm
rap?
about to come. Hippity beep bop.
Worst rap. Worst rap. Worst rap. of all
Beep
time.
bop. C3PO.
Hippity beep bop.
Here's the thing.
That was the first ever rap.
I'm very good at rapping, but I just don't want to let them know that I've
That's
spent
true,
a lot of
yeah.
time.
Save
inside.
Embarrassed of your talent, like you're talking about earlier.
Save something for the paywall.
Hippity beep bop.
I don't think that's what. Yeah, I don't think she was rapping.
Close.
But she was almost that bad
Yeah.
at rapping. When she was doing it, it was just like me and my brother were like this. Oh no, like you're gone. It must be tough too. Bad singers.
Yeah, when they think they're good. I mean,
Oh, hilarious.
amazing.
It's the best part about like Pop Idol and all. That's the only part. that you
Yeah,
watch.
yeah, that's the bit.
People
That's
are
the
Yeah,
fun
but
bit.
when she's right in front of you and you're like, oh, I'd love to have sex with her, and she's like,
story.
I just want.
That's the best song of all time, Mark. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Here's your ticket to Hollywood, baby.
Yeah,
You're going to boot camp.
Do you have many women doing that?
Sing and rap in front of me. No, not really. Like,
Bippity bop.
I suppose there's always a moment like
You
when
bastard.
you like get to know someone and you're in the car and like a song comes on that they like, and then it's make or break.
Ah.
Then you know if they
Oh,
if
yeah.
they can do it or not. And that's.
But
like,
would they
fun.
ever try and like? Because people be coming up to me all the time. They'd be like pitching jokes.
Oh, like a joke. Oh, right, yeah, yeah.
Would they be like, hey?
No, I don't think so. Like, I don't know. I think they already know
Say, oh, really?
not to do it.
Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah.
handy. They don't.
It's a weird thing to, yeah.
Well, pitch a song to him.
Well, they give like CD, like, well,
Oh,
used
pitch
to,
their
I
own
suppose,
shit
like,
to you. Okay, get you.
because they heard that like fucking Fred Durst signed somebody by getting a CD.
Oh
or
man,
something.
that shit is
That's
on
the worst publicity for
Yeah.
other bands.
yeah. I'm like, well, that's not going to be me.
They're
And
climbing up, and everyone else is like,
Yeah,
thought you on
that
the parking
false
lot.
narrative,
Like,
even if
throw-
it did happen, is
yeah,
like,
well, yeah. Oh, it's as
One in a
simple as
million.
that.
yeah. Can I? People be like, can I go on stage? I'll just do 10 at the end.
But they'll tell you a joke for you to use or for them
Oh, no.
to like go on before you or whatever.
No,
Okay.
they'll tell me a joke
Or
for me
after.
to use, but it won't even be a joke. It'll be they'll think it's a premise. That's a whole joke.
Oh right, yeah. You should write a joke about this.
They'll be like, I have a joke for you. And you're like, go on. They're like, the stock market.
yeah.
And you're like, what? And they're just like, that's
You
good,
know,
isn't it?
Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah. And then they're laughing. And you're like, what? Why
Yeah,
are you
which bit's
laughing
funny?
at? Yeah. Like, I hate when guys that you don't really know come up and they're laughing as they say something. And you're just like, what? Is this a joke we
Yeah.
have?
Do you? Yeah. Yeah.
And they're like, ha,
Only you
here's
know
a good
this.
one. Here's a good one. You're just like, oh no.
thankfully, that's never ever happened to me.
No.
Ah,
Jesus, that sounds horrific.
oh, all the time. The worst part is if it is a hot girl, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's
Yo, fucking hilarious. You're going
But
places.
at least there's that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You can't be fucking dealing with lunatics.
Oh, all the time.
I hate it. I hate that.
Do you get,
Don't envy that now.
do you get lunatics online?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what's so weird, right? This is random as fuck. So I asked you to do the podcast, and you were like, all right, cool. And the next day, this random dude, no context, doesn't follow me. Just go, is Matt making an album?
Oh, this is the whole thing. It's like every time because my Instagram's only photos that I take. It's
Yeah.
only like photography.
That is coincidence.
I was, it was like, but I didn't put two and two together. I was like, who the fuck does he think I'm Matt? Like, because
Yeah,
people
that's
get my
coincidence.
name wrong the
That's
whole
crazy.
time.
Oh right, yeah.
And then I ignored it. And then he replied to a story the next day, yo, Matt making an album? And then eventually I was like, wait, it was just so like coincidental.
Yeah.
I was like, did he hack?
Oh, so well, yeah.
Did he hack Matt's thing? Yeah. And then
Oh, like even the conversation. Yeah, right.
and then because he was like so blunt and as if though we were buddies.
Yeah.
And then he
You
didn't
knew that.
follow me. And then I was like, eventually I was like, here, what's your goal here? And he goes so fucking brazen. He goes, I want to know if Matt is making a new
Yeah.
album or
He's
not.
like, did I stutter?
It's
Yeah,
pretty
it's very-
simple.
That's the thing that that I find the funny. Like none of it bothers me. I just find it funny.
Yeah.
But it's like the over familiarity of like
Insane,
like-
isn't it?
like oh, you think I'm gonna have this conversation? Yeah, you know we're working on it. It's just like, all right. It's like, come to Argentina. Okay, yeah, I'll be there as soon as possible. Like, obviously great, love it, love the support. But like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not about to have this back and forth with all these people. It's like,
I love when the support turns too. I had a girl like that was trying to.
oh,
Fly.
it's quick. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
it's unreal, isn't it?
yeah.
I had a girl like she was trying to fly me to Brazil to do shows. Big long thing. She was like part of their fucking culture thing. I posted something online. It was so dumb, innocuous. I've
Yeah.
done many of them. She's like, "You're so stupid. I've had enough. Unfollow." You're the one who sends me 100,000 messages.
Yeah, they just don't get the response they wanted, and then
Oh,
it's
it's a-
off.
I
Yeah.
wonder about-
You know, you're talking earlier about like the hairstyles and you work backwards,
yeah.
Yeah.
right? It's the
Oh.
same thing from these messages.
Like, where are they when they're typing
When
it?
they send
Oh,
that send button, and then they, I don't know, when I send a message, I reread it usually. I reread what I've just sent. I'm like,
Yeah.
what did I just say? Where do they think
The
oh,
logic.
I won't unsend
Yeah,
this,
you've got
this
like
is
there's a
good
few
to go.
stages where you could like stop.
Yeah. I get they might
Not-
want to
Yeah,
ask
where you could
someone,
stop.
Yeah, they might want to ask someone they know a question.
Yeah,
But
yeah, of
they're
course.
going to fucking all these steps to.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Like,
Well, I think they're just fully mental too.
yeah.
Sadness.
I had a girl like she would send me. What'd she do again? She would always have a new account, and she'd be like,
Well, you just always knew it was it, like the.
"Oh, she sent videos. She sent a lot. I'll send you one video she sent. She would send me videos. She'd be like, hey, she was just the over familiarity too. It's so off putting. I'm like, do I know this person?
Yeah, that's the thing as well. Because then you like questioning yourself. You're
Oh,
like,
that
you're
happened
like,
the other
"Oh, is
night.
this a cousin? Like Ancestry.com, fucking confidence level 3 or whatever. Like,
A girl like bust into the green room here the other day with so much over familiarity that everyone was like,
yeah.
oh, someone here invited her.
belongs.
Yeah. And it was just like, she goes, I met you at Russell's house. And I was like, oh, yeah.
Well, then that's the thing. Like, my problem is like to a certain extent, I'm too like. I don't want to offend them either.
Oh, yeah. the
So like,
politeness.
yeah, they'll be like, I'll believe it for a minute just in case I'm like rude to someone I have met.
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
I'm like, oh shit.
I wish I was
Oh
more
yeah,
of a
maybe,
blunt
yeah,
cunt.
maybe I remember you.
Yeah.
Like, but it's
Oh,
mad, though,
yeah. I do a lot of that.
I did like once. That was like a good skill I learned really quickly, like pretending you remember somebody. I
What's your
once
trick?
like met this guy. This was like when I still lived like back in England in Sheffield, and this guy was he's like, Matt. I was like, oh yeah, nice to meet you. He's like, oh, we've met before. We met in the Lead Mill. It was like this venue in Sheffield. I was like, oh yeah, really low ceilings. And he's like, yeah. But like all I remembered was the venue.
Yeah.
And he just like fell for it. Like, oh yeah, really low ceilings.
Oh, I'm just going to repeat. That's a good trick in a
So
way.
just like remember
Give him
this.
something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I
And
remember
sure.
what you're talking about, but I don't.
That's
maybe-
kind of like crowd work too.
right.
If you repeat what they say, like if that girl said, I met you at Russell's, I'd be like, oh yeah, Russell. Don't know who the
Simple
fuck it
as
is.
that.
And
Yeah,
she's like,
yeah.
yeah. I'm like, all right, we're golden.
Yeah.
Because like if someone says something,
Then
in
you've
the
got
crowd-
like a bit of time to figure out who Russell is
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. I knew who she meant, and I've never been there, so I knew she was a liar. My brain was like, I know she's on about Russell Peters, and I've never been there.
Oh, you like, who does she think I am?
Yeah, that's an awful problem. I've had people come up to you on the street, and they thought I was Chris D'Elia, and they're like, we're big fans. And I'm like, thank you. My ego's like, oh yeah, you are big fans.
Yeah.
And then they're like,
Bet
why are
you
you
are.
speaking like that? And I'm like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
One time I was at the Comedy Store, right? And I did a set, and I went fucking, came off thinking I was the man. This girl comes up to me outside. She's like, that was so funny. I was like, thanks. She's like, what are you doing now? I was like, just having a drink. She's like, I'm staying at the Andes, which is right next to her. She's like, if you want to have a drink. So I was like, cool. So I go up there, and we're in the elevator, and she's like, you're so funny. And I was like, oh, thank you. And she goes, it's just weird you're talking like that. And I was just like, in my head, I was like, am I drunk? What's happening?
Yeah, how am I talking?
Yeah, and then she was like, wait, what's up? And I was like, what is up? And it got weird in the elevator. And then she was like, is this you? She showed me a picture of like Chris. I was like, no. And then we like walked. I said no, but we were walking to like her room. And she goes, oh. And then she just goes, you know this is going to be $400.
Oh, wow.
Oh shit.
And I was like, oh. She was like, do you have the cash? I was like, I'll go get it.
We are doing this, but I just didn't realize yet.
I just went back to the Comedy Store. But yeah, like, I had people before, they thought it was Russell Brand. They were taking pictures.
Oh, wow.
But in my head, this is when I first came to LA too.
Yeah.
And like, no one would know who I was.
Yeah.
In my head, I was like,
But
damn
you
it.
still like, wow. Yeah, I love this place. That internet thing is fucking, what a thing.
I'm like, are they reading my articles in the Irish newspaper? Wow, I'm pretty good. And then the girl, she had it on camera. She was like, are you him? And I was like, who? She was like, Russell Brand. I goes, no. She's like, fuck. And just deleted it right in front of me. I'm like, all right. Thanks for that. Shame. The shame flooded
You
in.
take what you can get sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I remember one time, someone got pissed about this story before. I was like, this is a dumb story. We were in Santa Cruz, and we're at this bar, and this girl was like, do you want to come back to my jacuzzi and drink vodka? And I was like, fuck yeah. She goes, all right, let's cycle back. I was drunk, and I was like, that makes sense. What you just said.
I've never heard that before. Like, let's cycle back.
So everyone's cycling, so we're like, I'm cycling her bike, and she's on it with me. And she lived at the top of a hill. And I'm just like sweating.
Can we swap?
Yeah, that'd be hilarious if I was getting driven by a girl on a bike. So we get like up a bridge, and it was like she was like, it's just halfway up, and I'm like, can we just stop here? So we ended up like parking her bike, and then she was like, come here, and we just end up like having sex on the bridge. It was actually romantic. It was like looking over Santa Cruz and all this shit.
Erotic novel.
Yeah. So then, alright, she goes, I get a text from my buddy just after the sex. He goes, you should come back to the house. There's a couple of girls here who think they're cats.
What?
They were like crawling around, being like, meow,
Sorry.
meow.
What?
They were like,
think the cat.
they were like, they're looking for you.
Like
So I was like, there, and I was drunk, and I was like looking at the girl. She's like, it's just up the hill. I was like, I'll be right back. And I jumped on the bike and I just cycled home. And I basically stole her bike. I didn't realize that she had stolen it. She stole it from outside
it was
the bar.
already a stolen bike.
Yeah.
She's outside on the hill bikeless
If you can imagine that.
at night
It's
time.
fucking
Yeah. But
Job.
she lives
Job, Mark.
she lives close. So I go back and these girls are acting like cats. They're on like the kitchen counters.
That had to be seen.
Yeah, I'm not fucking missing this.
as well. They are acting like cats.
Yeah. Now I know. And then you get right back.
And then a few weeks later, we met her again. I was at the we were at a Jamaican night, Rastafarian night. Me and my buddy Derek, and we were the only white dudes in there because it was like drink deals. We're drinking. I goes, oh no, Derek, that's the girl whose bike I stole. He goes, really? I was like, oh shit, yeah. He goes, if she comes over, just like deflect, jump in. He goes, I got you, buddy. She came over. She's like, you fucking asshole. Derek was like, I'll be right back. She just leaves me with her. And she was like, you're a real asshole. She's like, it wasn't even my bike. I stole it, but you just left me there. And I was like, look, I don't know where this came from. I goes, look, I just came into town. I think you're talking about my twin brother.
I tried that. Yeah, that's
Hopefully.
great.
All right.
Yeah. That before I never even thought of that.
No.
I didn't
But
think
it surely
yeah,
worked.
it just popped out of my mouth. And my hair had obviously grown in 3 weeks. So it was a bit
You looked a bit
longer,
different, yeah.
Slightly. And she goes, oh yeah, your hair. And I was like, yeah, I heard he's a dickhead. Everyone's been telling me. She's like, you're so much nicer.
He's always
than
doing
him."
this.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
We went boozing. We went back to her place.
She shagged both of you. Fuck. What a twist. That's great.
Good
It's as
twist.
good as it gets.
Yeah, I'd say that's where we ended.
Whoa!